start like that. All right. All right.
Okay guys, in today's video we threw four-wheel steering on a Traxxas TRX4 Sport. We'd like to show you why and how we did it. So the first reason we really wanted to do it was because we just love the Traxxas. Traxxas is just such a good brand and just good.
Well, they're pretty easy to work on.
Yeah.
And the parts are pretty easy to find too.
Yeah.
The vehicles themselves aren't cheap though. The vehicles aren't cheap, but once you buy it, if you break parts, the parts are pretty cheap.
Super easy, cheap.
Okay, so it looks like you put a servo up here. That's unusual. Some of the other four-wheel steering builds that we've seen have had servo on axle. So why did you try to put the servo up here?
So we put the servo up here just because it gives us a lot more just suspension travel, and it's not getting in the way of a panhard bar, and it's just way easier to mount. It also looks like what you'd see from Traxxas if they did a four-wheel steering. That's what it would look like. If Traxxas were to make a four-wheel steering car, they'd probably mount it up here and not on the axle, just because it'll get damaged way easier. Just if you hit a rock, it can damage it super easy, but here it's like kind of tucked up.
So does this match the front of the truck? Because it looks like this looks like the same as what you see on the front.
Yeah. So it is a Traxxas front axle. We had to get the panhard bar. The links that came in the car worked perfectly fine. The only thing we did have to get, panhard bar, servo. Wait, we had to get another servo tray. We had to get another servo. Now, this one you're seeing right here is a Powerhobby servo, but you can get the Traxxas servo from their website or the local hobby shop.
So before we go into all the details, because we can pull the camera over and we can look at each of the details we did. So in other four-wheel steering builds that we've seen, especially with Traxxas, other people have had to take the receiver out and put in something else, like a Dumbo or like a 5 or 6 channel receiver with extra buttons on the controller. So since we wanted to keep it Traxxas, how are we able to keep this Traxxas and still able to do different steering modes, such as straight, crab mode, four-wheel steering mode, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So what we did is we got the Powerhobby module, super cheap, only 15 bucks. Now how you do it is it's 2 clicks on this red high-low steering, or high-low gearing on your motor, just 1, 2, and then it'll take it from, if you're just in normal like front wheel steer, then it'll kick it to only back wheel steer. Then if you do it 2 more times, it'll kick it into sharp turn, just to get it as tight circle as possible.
So how many steering modes does it have total?
So 4. You have, like I said, the
normal front steer,
then just back steer, which just back steer might help you in some situations, but they could have left it out, but they just add another mode just in case. Then the third mode is sharp turn mode.
So it turns it turns the back wheels opposite the front wheels.
Yeah.
Okay, that's mode 3.
And then mode 4 is crab mode. So you turn the wheels opposite of them, and then it'll crawl almost directly this way. More of a diagonal.
So it keeps the nose pointed the same way, but it just crabs left or right, basically. Okay. And then we can get into the details of how we did that. But that Powerhobby steering module goes in between both servos and the receiver.
Yep.
So the controller talks receiver just like it always did, but then there's an extra module that sends signal to the front servo and the back servo and tells it what to do. So it controls all that.
So let's look inside. Okay, so here is the front. Here is the normal rear axle. Pretty simple. So we just bought a Traxxas front axle. It already came with this steering link right here and this steering link that connects to the servo horn.
I think one piece of information might be helpful is instead of buying all of these components separately from Traxxas, we just bought that axle from Jenny's RC, and it came with the steering links, it came with the portals, it came with all the gears, it came with the axle shafts, all of it for like $75.
Yeah, so it really wasn't that bad.
Yep.
You have this link right here. So the front axle is a 3-link suspension. The back axle is a 4-link suspension. So really just we took out this link on the right side of the truck and left the link on the left side. So here's the link that used to be there.
Don't need it anymore.
Yes, do not need it.
And then we did have to add that panhard bar.
Right there.
It's actually that one right behind it.
Yeah.
That comes across.
So.
And to get that panhard bar, we actually had to also remove the rear suspension mount and add a suspension mount that had that panhard bar mount.
Because normal ones don't have this little lip that comes down like so. But the front one, you have to get a front shock mount to get the panhard bar in. Now, right here, you can see this receiver box isn't finished yet. This is all really just mumbled and jumbled up in there. Traxxas does make an extended receiver mount box for the lid. So we're going to see if we can get that ordered. It might not fit all this, but we're hoping it does.
Let's look at the servo tray.
Yeah. So we did have to drill into the frame just to get the wheels to line up straight up and down, because without it, they were at a slight angle. So
it came with
this spacer thing going this way.
And it was the exact same size as the servo tray.
Yes.
So we pulled that out. We put the servo tray in. But in order to get all the suspension geometry to line up correctly, we just had to slide that servo tray back about 1/4 of an inch. And the way that was easy to figure that out was your steering link right here
has to
line up.
The that other steering link.
So the steering link that connects the servo out to the end of the axle has to be directly above. So if you see this steering link,
it should be
the servo has to be directly above it. And if you don't slide that servo tray backwards,
then it will hit this panhard bar right here. So we just try to make it as symmetrical to the front as possible. The drive shaft works fine. You don't need to get a new drive shaft.
I also probably want to mention that we did have to trim that just a little bit right there.
Yes, because it might be the tires. These are different Pro-Line tires, but I'm pretty sure any tires, it was extending all the way out to here. And then whenever you turn, it would rub on this. So we did chop it. Now that we've showed you really all the ins and outs of this 4-wheel steering, let's go take it outdoors and see how well it does out there. I hope this helped you if you're trying to do four-wheel steering. And it was a really fun build for us.
Okay.
Boom. We can leave it out if we don't want it.
All right. Done.
Whatcha.